And as promised, Ludvig Aberg, the leader of the Red Raiders, joining us this week on College Golf Talk. Always appreciate the time, my friend. Good to see you. And we were just discussing, Brentley and I, about the Big 12 match play. What does a win like that do for you, not only as a team, but individually for all those guys to get those match play experiences?
It's fun. Good morning, by the way. It's such a great tournament. Like, we were talking about it throughout the week, and it's kind of like you're coming down the last couple of holes of a big tournament every time you play a match. So it's such good practice for playing all the bigger events. You're one down with 3 to go and you need to make something happen, or you're 2 up and you got 5 holes left and you need to kind of maneuver how to get into the last couple of holes. So it's a great event. Big 12 is probably one of the better conferences. So the competition that we play against Texas, against Oklahoma State, just to name a few, is incredible. So for us to get away with a win is always going to boost our program.
Bigger picture, how did you end up in Lubbock, Texas, and why was Texas Tech the place for you?
Well, so I played a bunch of these junior events in Europe. We played British boys, European team boys, and I had a coach coming over recruiting me. There's been, historically a lot of Scandinavians on the team before, so I didn't necessarily know him that well before, but it was easier for me to kind of acclimate, and I could get some inside information from them, how they, perceive everything in Lubbock, and it's been great. I would not want to be anywhere else. I love Texas Tech.
I was doing a little bit of research on you and discovered that golf may have not have been your first love. Could you just explain the sport that really captured your heart early and just how good you were at soccer?
Yeah, so I played soccer growing up, or I call it football, but we call it soccer over here. So
football, soccer,
that was football, soccer, same thing. But that was what I still love playing and watching. But that was the first love that I had in sports. I played ever since I remembered. I was probably 5-6 years old when I started playing for a team, and so football was more of a all year round. So golf was for the summer, and then fall, winter, spring, when it got colder in Sweden, we could go inside and we played football. And I was kind of like debating whether I wanted to go probably when I was 14, 15, something like that. If I wanted to keep playing soccer, or if I wanted to kind of switch gears and play golf. Because I didn't start playing tournaments in golf until I was probably 14, 13, something like that. So it's like, for me, it wasn't late, but as I've talked to other people, they kind of see it as a little late. But I still enjoy it. I watch it as much as I can. I still keep track of my teams back home, and some of the teams I watch in England as well. So it's fun.
Now, I also saw you're a Liverpool fan, so we'll give you a pass on that. But does Coach Sands let you play soccer right now? Like, if you want to go play for your intramural team or something, does he kind of give you freedom with that?
Not really. I mean, it's all on, you want to stay fit. You don't want to get stupid injuries and that kind of stuff. So you try to be a little careful and cautious. But, just go out. We have a massive practice facility in Lubbock, so we can always go out and we can, shoot some passes and whatever. So it's fun.
I think I really want to see Board Scogan kick a soccer ball.
He's actually not too bad. Like, he grew up playing as well, so he's actually not too bad. He's a big guy, maybe not the athletic type.
I could see him in the back. I could see him in the back, Ludvig. Maybe a sweeper. Yeah. I can't see him making a goal.
100%.
He's a big guy. He could be 100%. A goalie. But speaking of a little funny looking, I was also looking at some old photos of you playing golf, and you're wearing, I think you would call it a fedora. Did you wear that fedora a lot when you played golf? There's like a little hat. Looks like the Toaster Strudel kid. Little fedora.
You know what? Maybe. I haven't really. I guess I wore a hat a little bit when I was younger, just to like protect from the sun. Being from up north, you try to be a little careful with your sun and your skin.
It was like one of those little straw hats, the little fedora.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
You know what? I used to wear that like vacations and stuff. It was kind of nice. With me and my family.
Have you worn that since? Have you worn that in the last decade?
No, I haven't. I haven't worn it in 10 years probably.
Well, that's your challenge. Next tournament, try to wear a fedora. I think that would get the people on Twitter going.
That would be a challenge.
All right, Ludvig, we're going to get you back on the rails here. Brentley is taking you in a completely different direction. Let's talk about PGA Tour U. Third year of this initiative. What impact have you seen? Obviously, you're right in the mix to lock up some status come next May after the NCAAs. But how has it impacted you, and maybe what inspiration have you drawn from some of those that have already made it to the PGA Tour through that program?
I mean, it's a fantastic program. I think for everyone, first off, it gives you an incentive to stay in school for 4 years, which maybe before was a little bit up in the air. But now, you want to stay in school. And it's just a great kind of gateway to turning professionals, because turning professional it's a tough kind of deal to do, and it's going to be a hard time to acclimate to being pro, and just to be able to kind of have something from your amateur career building onto your early start in your pro career, it's incredible. And I think everyone who is a part of this has done a great job. I am very fortunate to be able to have this as my last year, and to have this program as a gateway to turning pro. And I think it's just going to benefit everyone who's a part of it.
Now, there's some benefits after you graduate college, of course, but there's also one that's going to be handed out here just in a couple weeks, and that'll be the sponsor exemption into the DP World Tour event in Dubai. I think it's the Dubai Desert Classic still. But you were actually supposed to play this event last year on a sponsor's invite. Can you just explain, one, why you weren't able to play, and then two, how cool and how important would it be for you to keep your number one ranking for a few more weeks and get that return ticket back to Dubai?
Yeah, so I was supposed to play it last year. I had a flight. I had everything kind of sorted out. I had practice tee times. I had all this. My mom and my sister was going to come down as well and watch me, and I had my national team coach from Sweden was going to come down, and all I needed to do was to get a negative COVID test, literally the day before I left from Lubbock. And so I went in, I got tested. We did it at the football facility here at Tech, and I get a call from the guy who was in charge of the test. He goes, "Dude, you're positive." And I'm like, yeah. So, there was nothing I could do about it. It was just really, really, really bad timing. So, I was just put in a hotel for, I can't remember, 8-7 days, something like that, to recover and that kind of stuff. But it was really, I felt bad for my mom and my sister. They still went down there. I think they watched like 2 hours of golf. Maybe they're not that interested in golf. But they got a really good vacation out of it. I didn't. I stayed in Lubbock at a hotel just for me and myself. So that kind of sucked. But yeah, I mean, it would be really cool to be able to go down there in late January of next year and kind of get my little revenge, I guess. Just try to stay positive or negative. I'm sorry. In the
What do you do for 7 to 8 days in a hotel? Now, I understand a couple of days ago you guys missed your flight coming back from Houston. You had to drive 8 hours. So what do you do for 8 hours in a van or 7 to 8 days in a hotel? What are some things that you like to do?
So when I was in, I'm not a big, I don't play a lot of PlayStation, that kind of stuff, but I have a PlayStation right here. So I brought it to the hotel and I played a bunch of FIFA. And that just kind of, made the time go a little bit faster, but you can't really do too much. Like, you're literally stuck in a room. So you just got to make the best out of it, talk to your friends, parents, girlfriends, and just try to like keep yourself busy, I guess.
Did you chip and putt in the room? Because I've done that.
I had my clubs and I putted a little bit actually. I was like contemplating whether like put up my mattress and stuff so I could hit balls, but Yeah, that'd be
I've seen too many videos.
That'd be too much. I could just see everything kind of go wrong, so I didn't want to do that.
All right, it was a year ago, Ludvig, about this time that we had Rose Zhang on, top-ranked women's amateur player in the world, best player in college golf, and Halloween was around the corner. So I want a great Halloween story from you, maybe a costume you wore, but perhaps more importantly, your favorite candy. I know when you go to Sweden, the candy is remarkable. I remember a story Henrik Stenson shared with me years ago. He said I would bring a suitcase of candy back to the U.S. So give me a Halloween story and give me your top 3 candies.
So it's funny because I'm actually, so my birthday is October 31st. So when I grew up, thank you. So when I grew up, like Halloween wasn't it's not that big a thing. Like it's massive over here in the States. That you go trick-or-treating and that kind of stuff. So it wasn't as big, but growing up, but then I came over here and I realized, like people are really, putting time and effort and costumes and money and all that kind of stuff. So it's been really cool to, obviously last year I played in the PGA Tour event in Bermuda on my birthday. That was really cool. And then 2 years ago I was in a COVID quarantine, so that wasn't as cool. So hopefully this year we can do something else. It's on a Monday this year, so just try to like celebrate it with my friends, and my girlfriend's coming over as well. So, but yeah, my candy. Oof. I'm actually like, I love candy. Don't get me wrong, but I love ice cream more. I'm more of an ice cream guy. So every time I go back, I try to get some ice cream. But we have some really good chocolate back home that I'm missing. Absolutely.
Did you know that Vincent Norman used to work in a candy store as a kid? Did you ever buy ice cream or anything from him, you think, back in the day?
Did.
Yeah.
Probably. If he worked in the ice cream store, or he said
they had ice cream and candy. Yeah, they had ice cream candy. Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
So we call him the Candy Man. So when he wins, the Candy Man he can win. So you have to give him a hard time about that.
That's hilarious.
Ludvig, do you see what I have to deal with week in, week out, working with Brentley?
Yeah,
I need
it's fun
help.
though, isn't it?
Being serious,
it is fun.
So fun.
It is fun.
But Ludvig, if you need a costume idea, I don't know how quickly you can grow a beard, but you can be Steve Burkowski if you start now. So you got a week to 9 days to grow the beard out.
It's not growing that fast. I wish it was growing a little bit faster, but it's not.
You want to set the bar much higher than trying to dress up like me, I can assure you. We could go on forever. I know your time is short. Ludvig, always good to catch up. Really appreciate it. Congrats on a great fall. Stay healthy and continue it throughout the spring. Look forward to watching you guys try to make another run at Greyhawk in the NCAA championships.
Absolutely. Appreciate it, guys.
You got it, Ludvig Aberg from Texas Tech, one of the very best college players. Brentley, one of the best amateurs in the world. A lot of fun. I'm giving you credit. You've been bringing the heat with Michael Thorbjornsen and David Ford. Now Ludvig Aberg joining us. The guests continue to flock to College Golf Talk. We appreciate everyone for tuning in for another edition. For Brentley, I'm Burka. We'll see you next time right here on College Golf Talk.